Welcome to Simplified Topics channel. Today we'll be unraveling the complex issue of climate change, breaking it down into bite-sized, easy-to-understand morsels. It's a topic that affects every corner of our planet, from the melting ice caps of the Arctic to the scorching deserts of Africa. But don't worry, we won't leave you feeling helpless. We'll also be exploring some simple solutions that can lead us towards a greener future. So buckle up and get ready to dive into the world of climate change. Climate change, a term you've likely heard, but do you know what it truly means? Let's delve into that. Climate change is a long-term alteration of temperature and typical weather patterns in a place. It's like your local weather person predicting a permanent shift in weather. Now, what's causing this change? Well, it's primarily due to greenhouse gases that trap heat from the sun in our planet's atmosphere, creating a greenhouse effect. These gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, are released by human activities, such as burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas for electricity, heat, and transportation. Picture it this way. Every time we drive a car, switch on a light, or even heat up leftovers in the microwave, we're contributing to this greenhouse effect. It's like we're throwing an extra blanket over the Earth, trapping more heat and making our planet warmer. Deforestation is another significant contributor to climate change. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, one of the key greenhouse gases. When we cut them down, we not only lose these natural carbon sinks, but also release stored carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. It's like double jeopardy for our climate. The effects of climate change are already evident, and they're not pretty. We're talking about more frequent and severe weather, such as storms, droughts, heat waves, and floods. Rising sea levels due to melting ice caps threaten coastal communities, and changes in temperature can disrupt ecosystems and agriculture. But don't lose hope just yet. The good news is we can all play a part in tackling climate change. By reducing our carbon footprint, embracing renewable energy, and promoting sustainable practices, we can help slow down and even reverse some of these effects. So what's the takeaway? Climate change is a complex issue with far-reaching impacts, but it's not insurmountable. Each of us has a role to play in the solution. It's time to take action for our planet and for future generations. The effects of climate change are severe, but there are solutions we can all contribute to. Let's explore these solutions in our next scene. Now you're probably wondering, what can one person do against such a global issue? The answer is a lot more than you might think. Today, we're going to introduce a step-by-step guide that you can follow in your daily lives to combat climate change. Let's start with reducing energy consumption. The energy we use in our homes often comes from burning fossil fuels, which releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. By making small changes like switching off lights when you're not in the room, unplugging devices when they're not in use, and using energy-efficient appliances, you can significantly reduce your carbon footprint. Next, let's talk about the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce your consumption by choosing products with less packaging, or better yet, buy in bulk. Reuse items where possible instead of discarding them. For instance, a glass jar can make a stylish drinking glass or a handy storage container. And of course, recycle as much as possible. Paper, plastic, glass, metal. Many of these can be recycled instead of ending up in a landfill. Another key step is to rethink your transportation. Cars are a major source of greenhouse gas emissions, but there are alternatives. If possible, walk or cycle for short journeys. This not only reduces emissions, but also keeps you fit. For longer journeys, consider public transport or carpooling. And if you're in the market for a new car, why not consider an electric or hybrid vehicle? In terms of diet, consider reducing your meat and dairy intake. Livestock farming is responsible for a significant portion of global greenhouse gas emissions. Even reducing your consumption by a small amount can have a big impact. And lastly, consider using renewable sources of energy. Solar and wind power are becoming more accessible and can often be cheaper in the long run. If you have the ability to install solar panels or a wind turbine, that's great. If not, many utility companies offer green energy options. These steps might seem small individually, but when millions of people make these changes, it adds up. And it's not just about reducing emissions. By following these steps, you're also setting an example for others to follow, creating a ripple effect that can lead to even greater change. Let's not forget, climate change is not just a problem for future generations. Its effects are being felt right now. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe, and sea levels are rising. But it's not too late to make a difference. Remember, every little action counts when it comes to saving our planet. We all have a role to play in combating climate change. Let's make a greener future not just a possibility, but a reality. Now who's with me? Let's talk about renewable energy, a key player in the fight against climate change. Renewable energy comes from natural sources that, unlike fossil fuels, can replenish themselves over short periods of time. These include sunlight, wind, rain, tides, and geothermal heat. Let's start with solar power. It's an abundant and inexhaustible resource. By harnessing the energy from the sun, we can generate electricity for homes and businesses, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels and slashing carbon emissions. Plus, solar panels are becoming increasingly affordable and efficient, making solar energy a viable option for many. Next up, wind power. Wind turbines convert the kinetic energy in the wind into mechanical power. This energy can be used directly for mechanical tasks, such as pumping water, or it can be converted into electricity. Wind farms can generate substantial amounts of power, and like solar, the source is inexhaustible. Hydropower, another major player, uses the energy of flowing or falling water to generate electricity. It's currently the largest source of renewable energy worldwide, contributing to around 16% of global electricity generation. Finally, let's not forget about geothermal energy. This is the heat from the Earth's crust, harnessed to generate steam, which can turn turbines and produce electricity. It's a consistent and constant power source, unlike some other renewables that rely on specific conditions. But why should we switch to these renewable sources? Well, the benefits are enormous. Not only do they drastically reduce our carbon footprint, but they also have the potential to create jobs, stabilize energy prices, and reduce reliance on imported fuels. Moreover, the more we invest in renewable technology, the cheaper it becomes. The cost of solar panels has already dropped by more than 80% in the last 10 years. Imagine the possibilities if we continue this trend. Switching to renewable energy sources is not just beneficial for the environment, but also for the economy. Scene script: knowledge is power, and sharing it is empowering others. Just as ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped into water, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects. Each one of us has the capability to make a significant impact in the fight against climate change. And it all starts with a little knowledge, a little understanding, and a lot of heart. We've delved into the complex world of climate change, simplified it and presented it to you. But don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and even with that friendly neighbor next door. Let's get everyone in on the conversation. Let's make the dialogue about climate change a normal part of our everyday discussions. Remember, every time you share this video, you're spreading awareness. You're enlightening someone about the reality of climate change and the simple solutions that can help mitigate it. You're empowering them to make small but significant changes in their daily lives. You're inspiring them to join the fight for a greener, cleaner, and healthier planet. Climate change isn't a problem for the future. It's a challenge we're facing right now. And it's a challenge we can overcome if we all work together. So go ahead, hit the share button. Let's get the word out there. Let's create a ripple effect of change. Every share counts, every change matters. Together we can make a difference. As we conclude our journey through climate change, remember, the power to change lies within us. We've explored the gravity of climate change and how our daily habits, as small as they may seem, can contribute to this global issue. We've also seen the potential of renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydro, not just as alternatives, but as vital solutions for a greener future. We've provided a step-by-step guide that can help us combat climate change. But it's important to remember that every little action counts. From choosing a reusable water bottle over a disposable one, to opting for public transport over driving, every choice makes a difference. Let's not stop here. Share this video, spread the word, and together we can make a difference. Knowledge is power, and together we are powerful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Simplified Topics for more insightful content. Stay curious, stay informed.